Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly comic book review. That's right everybody, time for the weekly comic book review. It's the show where I read a lot of comic books and I let you know what I thought about them. And we always start with the pick of the week, and this week's pick of the week, seriously, it's no surprise. It's Mr. Miracle number 6. It's Mr. Miracle again. Tom King, Mitch Gerads, they are totally taking all the anticipation out of the pick of the week whenever there is a Mr. Miracle book out, because this book is levels above. Issue 6 issues in, halfway through this run. It is phenomenal. It's game-changing. It's a big deal. It seriously is. Deeply philosophical stuff with a little bit of wit and humor and great action with illustrious illustrations. Beautiful, gorgeous artwork by Mitch Gerads. This book is something else. It's so good. This issue spotlights the relationship between Barda and Scott Free, and it does it in such a great way. They're basically making their way through all the traps of Apocalypse, trying to get to Orion to confront him after the events of the last few issues. So as they're going through this, they're just having your typical conversation between a husband and a wife. And it was great, and it was beautiful, and it was just amazing. The artwork is exceptional, so good. The way that the story is told, the way that they use this nine panel grid, the way it's utilized in here by King and Gerads is amazing. Look at that stuff. It's really cool. It's meaty. It's got a lot of weight to it. Lots of good stuff has been happening in Mr. Miracle. Sometimes dark, sometimes funny, but always brilliant, fun. Absolutely. This book has been amazing. A loving tribute to Jack Kirby, but so unlike anything that I think Jack Kirby would do with this character, but totally in the vein of Kirby. And Kirby would be proud of this book. Absolutely. Mr. Miracle number 6, pick of the week. No surprise, right? This book has been amazing. I've been loving it. Also from DC, we got Detective Comics 972. I've said it before many times. I'll say it again many times. This is my favorite Bat book on the shelves right now. It's Batman in Detective Comics, because this book is amazing. It spotlights the whole family, the whole Batman family, the Gotham Knights, if you will. You got Tim Drake, you got Spoiler, you got Batwoman, you got Clayface, you got Cassandra Cain, you got Batwing, Azrael. There's even more. This is so great. Everything is handled so perfectly. Everybody has their moment to shine. Stuff is getting real. Things are really starting to heat up and build up, maybe even into Doomsday Clock. I think a lot of what they're setting up in here is kind of what they were talking about in Doomsday Clock number 2 with all the protesters and whatnot. But the Clayface work that writer James Tynion IV and his co-creators have been doing with this book has been amazing, and this is just one of those issues. Seriously, if you've been reading it and you know how the last one ended, this one is thrilling, exciting, and will leave you just begging for more. And the whole thing about future Tim Drake, and he said that Batwoman was going to do something bad, it starts kind of coming into fruition in this issue, and it's messed up, and I don't know how this is going to end, but I've never been more worried for the Bat family ever. A fantastic job by James Tynion IV. Great artwork in this one, by the way. Good Clayface stuff. Really nifty, fun, giant, dynamic, explosive panels. Love this book so much. Detective Comics has been amazing. Also, Flash number 38. Joshua Williamson has been doing a very good job in Flash. I feel like it hit a little bit of a weak spot in that Negative Flash story, but I really feel like it's pulling itself back out. This story was really fun about the Rogues. The Rogues are kind of like, they're in Iron Heights, but they're still ruling things, and they want to be there, and it's really cool. It's really neat little story. This has got a great fight between Captain Cold and the Flash. Sans powers. Really nifty, very clever stuff. At times, the dialogue is a little, you know, whatever. But the book is pretty solid. I do like it. I think it's finding its footing again after a few missteps during the Negative Flash storyline. Scott Collins is on the artwork in this issue. If you read Flash back in the day, especially during the Jeff Johns days, you know who Scott Collins is. Does a great job on this one. Not as solid as some of his work from back in the day, but really cool, and fans of that Jeff Johns Flash run will really appreciate the throwback art in here. I'm liking it again, so I'm glad I stuck with it. The whole arc, everything that's coming around is starting to make sense, and I really dig it. We got Flash War coming up. I got some ideas about what's going to happen on that. Get at me in the comments if you really want to know. I don't want to spoil anything, but really cool stuff is happening in Flash, I think. Action Comics 995. Man, we are very, very close to issue 1000. That's in March or April, right? Something like that. This is like an okay story. So, you know, after the Oz effect, Superman finds out that Mr. Oz is actually Jor-El, or at least claims to be Jor-El, somehow removed from Krypton moments before its explosion, or during the explosion, actually. Superman wants to go back in time and find out if it's true. Booster Gold goes to remove Superman from that because he's going to mess up the timeline. He already did. What's going on? It's an alright issue. Action Comics started off really, really strong. Got a little weak. Got a real strong again during that revenge story. And I feel like it's been a little weak since then. What are they gearing up to in 1000? We shall see. Obviously, some of this stuff is tying into Doomsday Clock as well. How much of it, we shall see. This is mostly a spotlight on Booster Gold. Anytime Dan Jurgens, who created Booster Gold, is around doing a book, he wants to throw Booster Gold in. He's making the case yet again for you to be a fan of Booster Gold. Will it work? I don't know. It doesn't really work on me. I don't hate Booster Gold. I'm indifferent to him. Do you get what I'm saying? So this book is all right. Superman and Booster go back to Booster's time in this, so he's actually a fugitive because Booster's from the future, stole some tech, stole a time machine, and went back in the past to become a superhero. Now he's back in his own time with Superman. Crazy hijinks ensue. That's what's going on in that issue of Superman. And also we got from the Wildstorm universe set up by Warren Ellis. We got Michael Cray, #4. This book by Brian Hill and Stephen Harris. I didn't really like it so much at first, but I'm starting to like it a whole lot more. It basically seems like the gist of this is that Michael Cray, from that Warren Ellis Wildstorm book, previously known as Deathblow, he's on his own, doing his own missions, whatever. He got his own team. That's neat. That's cool. But instead of doing new and unique things, they're taking DC heroes and making like evil, twisted versions of them. But the first one was Green Arrow. That story was okay to me. This one's been Flash, and it's really cool because it's got a tech reason for his super speed. I like that. It's very Ellis-like. It reminds me at times of Planetary. I really was not sold on Harris's artwork at first, but I am starting to get into it. It's not your typical comic book art. A lot of people are going to look at it and be like, I don't really like that. But I do think it handles the job well. The facial acting, the acting and emotions on the character rings true. Decent art scenes, decent action scenes. I really do like this book. I'm starting to turn the corner, and it seems like they're setting up for the next story arc after Evil Ollie and Evil Barry. Evil Arthur, Evil Aquaman, crazy creepy Aquaman stories coming up. So Michael Cray's been pretty decent. It's not as good as the Wildstorm, but I feel like issue 3 and 4 have redeemed the series, at least in my eyes, because I was going to give up after 1 and 2. I'm glad I stuck around because the Flash stuff, I've actually liked this story. I thought it was really, really cool. Let's jump over to Marvel. Marvel's got some releases this week. First of all, Avengers #675, the first issue in the No Surrender story. This is where Avengers goes weekly, at least for like, what, 16 to 18 weeks, something like that, perfectly leading into the Infinity War movie, some kind of big story going on. First of all, let's just point this out. That cover is amazing. Marvel's made some missteps lately with their lenticular covers, like limiting them, not allowing people to really get them. And then the ones you're able to get, they look all right. But this one with a cover by Mark Brooks, I believe, this cover is gorgeous. The 3D effect really works very well. I like it. I dig it. I thought that was really, really cool. I just want to make sure that's Mark Brooks. I'm pretty sure it is. Maybe it's some, I don't know. Anyway, this book was actually really good. So basically what they've done is they've taken all these Avengers titles, because you have Uncanny Avengers, regular Avengers, and US Avengers. They've kind of combined it all into one weekly book. This is stuff like they've done before at DC with Batman Eternal and things like that. When they took Spider-Man, there were 4 titles, and they brought it down to 1, and they made it 3 times a month. It's kind of what they're doing here, but they're telling this real big story. Something comes and takes Earth, steals Earth away. So now all the heroes are on Earth. Craziness ensues. Almost every Avenger is in this book. Every active Avenger, and even some non-active Avengers. Really cool to see Living Lightning make an appearance in this issue for sure. But I like it. It's got really decent artwork by Pepe Larraz, and it is Mark Brooks on the cover. So you got the writers of all 3 of those Avengers titles, Jim Zub, Al Ewing, and Mark Waid writing this. Really cool artwork, really big epic story, worthy of the Avengers, and of course it's got the big mystery about the Voyager character. That's not explained in here, but it brought up Like, you first see Voyager in here. Obviously, we shall see what happens in future issues. Don't really know what's going on, but it's a big, epic, giant story worthy of the Avengers. A great first chapter. And seriously, that's the cover of the week. That cover, that works so well. So impressed with that, absolutely. Old Man Hawkeye, #1 is out this week. Highlighted this book, Marco Cicchetto on the artwork. Love this dude's artwork. Does great stuff. Just great line work, great coloring, great scenery, great sense of movement and action. Just brilliant, cool, awesome stuff. Artistically, I loved it. Script-wise, it's really good. It's a very delightful comic book to read, absolutely. It's kind of like a prequel to Old Man Logan. So it takes place in the world of Old Man Logan, but it focuses on Hawkeye. This happens before he's blind, but he's going to be on his way of getting blind. It's a 12-issue series. Issue 1 is very, very promising. Nice, tight script. Loved it. Thought it was really great. Ethan Sachs is the writer. Does a fantastic job with the script. Really great characterizations, great story beats, great drama moments, great action. Old Man Hawkeye was solid. It was good. Probably one of Marvel's best books of the week. And not to be outdone by Hawkeye, we got Old Man Logan here, #33. They should just start this whole, like, instead of M2 or MTech or 2099, they should have an Old Man Marvel line. Like a whole line of all of them just old, geriatric heroes, right? Maybe not. But Old Man Logan has gotten better and better and better. Jeff Lemire was doing an amazing run on this. Ed Brisson has come on and has just taken it up to the next level. Seriously, his first story arc with all the Hulks and the Maestro, that was really cool. But this story, the Scarlet Samurai story, has been great. It's got tons of character bits in it, great emotional and dramatic moments, lots of really, really nifty action. And of course, any comic book with the Gorgon in it, I'm down. But look at what Deodato is doing now with his panel work, his composition. This is the most brilliant artwork of his career, in my humble opinion. Deodato on the artwork has gotten better and better, and I have never been as impressed with this cat's artwork as I am on this Old Man Logan book right now. But seriously, Brisson's doing a great job on the script. I would love to see him tackle just a normal Wolverine book whenever they're done with the Old Man Logan thing, and now that Wolverine's going to be back and he's doing that little post-credit thing. But now that that's going on, and whenever this is all wrapped up and the real Wolverine title comes back, right, just the regular, average age Logan, Brisson is the guy to do it, maybe. And maybe even Deodato Jr., because the artwork in this is just fantastic. I already showed you that page. I could show you every single page of this book because it's great. Just brilliant. And it really harkens to past Wolverine stories. Wolverine fans, you're going to love this book. It's really, really good. Matthew Rosenberg's been doing some work over at Marvel, including The Punisher. #220 is here this week. I'm loving this book. I'm loving it so much. This book is crazy and it's awesome. Frank Castle gets the War Machine armor, and it is exactly as fun as that idea seems like it should be. It's super fun because I just love the way that Frank uses the suit. He's just dropping on people, doesn't really know how to operate it fully, just using it as a battering ram. It's just helping him to punch people's faces off. This book is violent, it's big, it's funny, it's goofy. I really, really like this book. The artwork is not going to be sold for many people. Gayu Villanova, I don't know how to say his first name. Villanova, though, I like his artwork a lot. The face work looks really crazy cool. His Frank Castle looks just like John Bernthal. The War Machine armor does look a little weird. It looks a little soft, and I've said marshmallowy in the past, but it's really growing on me. It's gritty. It's fun. I love it. I think that Matthew Rosenberg is doing a great job on The Punisher, and I am just so excited for what's coming in the future. Also, Lee Lowridge is doing the colors. Amazing colors in this book. This book is super fun. It's basically Punisher in the War Machine armor going overseas, taking care of business. TCB, baby. Also, speaking of Matthew Rosenberg, he's writing this Phoenix Resurrection book. It's a weekly series bringing back Jean Grey. Getting ready for that book right there. It's an ad on the back. X-Men Red, #1, coming out soon. Jean Grey proper is returning. The Phoenix is here. It's a big deal. Is it a big deal? This book doesn't feel, story-wise, like it's a big deal. Now, obviously, in our world, it is a big deal. It's the return of Jean Grey. It should be huge. It should be a big, giant deal, and a big deal in story in the Marvel Universe. But it doesn't feel like that. It does not feel like that. So you get Phoenix readings and all this stuff, and they're all like, oh, do you know what this means? It means she's back. Well, the Phoenix has come back before, and they never, I don't know. There's something off about this book to me. I don't really like it. Nothing is explained yet. We got, what, 2 to 3 more issues left. They have to explain it quick. I'm sure it's going to lead into that book. I don't know. I'm not liking this book at all. So they're also having a different artist on each issue. So Lionel Francis Yu did the first issue. Carlos Pacheco did the last issue. Artwork got a little tighter. Joe Bennett does this one. And I'm not saying Joe Bennett is not a good penciler, because he is, but he's a little old school. And whoever's inking him here, is that Ruggiero? Yeah, Lorenzo Ruggiero. I'm not liking the inking. I'm not liking the panel composition. I'm not liking the characters. I'm not liking this book. What do you guys think of this book? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'm at my shop, I'm not hearing lots of good things from people about that. Phoenix Resurrection, this should be a big deal. Gene's been gone for a very long time, since the end of Grant Morrison's run. What was that, like 15 years ago or something? This book feels like it has no impact. Now, obviously, it's going to have an impact. It's launching its own X-Men book. It's returning Jean Grey back proper into her, like, you know, even the old school uniform kind of homage for 90s costume there. But it just doesn't, I don't know, it's just not feeling right to me. What is feeling right to me, though, is X-Men Blue. I'm loving this book. I love it so much. Number 19 is out this week. This is the longest I've read a Cullen Bunn book. And it's not that I don't think Cullen Bunn is not talented. Obviously, this cat is super talented. But I just never really got too much into some of the stuff he did, though I do like Harrow County a lot. I've been trade waiting that for way too long. I got to catch up. But this book is awesome. R.B. Silva's artwork is great. It's fun. The X-Men are basically trying to go back to their old time. A lot of stuff that's been left dangling since Bendis brought in the old time displaced X-Men back in All New X-Men like years ago now. Like, not years ago, but a few years ago. Several, 2 or 3, something like that. Well, longer than that. But anyway, a lot of the stuff has been dangling around since then, including some stuff from that Battle of the Atom crossover that I thought was pretty bad. A lot of that starts kind of tying together, and it's kind of interesting. But great artwork, really cool stuff. They're crossing all these different times. So we've had, you know, Generation X last issue. We had X-Men 2099 a couple issues ago. Now you got the original X-Men again, or do you? It's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. I like that story. I like X-Men Blue a lot right now. With Phoenix coming back, though, what's going to happen to young Jean Grey? Didn't it look like young Jean Grey completely disintegrated away, got eaten and just destroyed by the Phoenix at the end of her solo series? But, you know, I don't know. We'll see what happens. You're just going to have to wait and see. If it doesn't make sense, we're going to have to wait and see until it does make sense. Because comic books, even though they come out in the same week in our reality, in the Marvel reality, they don't all take place in the same week, right? Venom 160 is here, bringing us the penultimate chapter of Venom Inc., and I cannot wait for this story to be over. I do not like this story. I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb. I didn't like the cat that had the suit right before Eddie Brock got it back when they relaunched Venom. I can't remember the cat's name. He's the new Maniac. I don't like it. I don't like this story of him sending little bits of his symbiote out to control other people, and I just don't like it. Sandoval is not my favorite artist, though it does have some great moments in this issue. There's some neat little things, I guess. Some cool Venom stuff, but I was so excited to have Eddie Brock Venom back, but I just don't like the Venom book. I think the Venom book needs a new creative team. I don't know. I'm dissatisfied with Venom. Darth Vader number 10 is out, though I am not dissatisfied with this book. I am more than satisfied. I am immensely satisfied with this book. Darth Vader has been so much fun. The Karen Gillan one, the original Darth Vader run for the first Marvel one from like a couple years ago, that book was awesome. How can you top that? Well, you go back, you do like a Darth Vader year 1 thing right after he becomes Vader, and you have him hunting down the last few surviving Jedi for the Emperor, finding out secrets, being badass, doing cool Force power stuff. Plus, you got Common Collie doing the artwork. Amazing stuff in here. And like, seriously, that right there, that's a lightsaber gun. Like a lightsaber gun, and it works, and it's cool. Artwork is great, it's dynamic, it flows, high octane energy, lots of action, lots of cool stuff in this book. Charles Soule, the writer's been doing a great job on it. Absolutely loving this book. It's so much fun, so much fun. Let's get to some of the other publishers. From Valiant, we have Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe. So this is the first issue of a 4-issue series. It's kind of tied into the upcoming web series from Valiant, Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe. So there's this neat little thing in the very beginning right here where they explain the whole idea behind the web series and why they're doing it. They're going to have their own movie universe. This is separate from the movie universe, and it's separate from the comic book universe. And this comic book is a tie-in to the web series. Now, the web series is something I'm kind of excited to see. Jason David Frank playing Bloodshot. The cat that played Deadshot on Arrow is playing Ninjak. Lots of cool casting has been done on this. I'm really anxious to see it. The guys behind Superpowered Beatdown are the ones doing it. This comic book was okay, though. It was all right. It was okay. Joe Bennett does the artwork on here, who did the artwork on that Phoenix Resurrection issue, so he's got 2 books out this week. The artwork from Bennett in this one is way better. This is not tied into the Valiant universe in the comics. Like I said, it's tied into the web series. It was all right. It was fun. It's just setting up. It's setting up why Ninjak's going to be fighting everybody in the Valiant universe, and that's cool. They say that this is like the first true multimedia comic book, web series thing. I don't know. I think they're overselling it. I don't know if this is just an adaptation or if this is like a prequel or if it's something that happens in between. We shall see how it unfolds. I don't know when that web series comes out. Is it out right now? I don't think it's out right now, but I don't know when it comes out. But I hope it comes out soon because I want to check it out. This issue, though, it was all right. For 4 issues, I'll check it out. It was free. It was light. It was fun. It was all right. Statics Press from Titan. They've been doing all these like English translations of like French comics and things like that. So far, I think a lot of it is lost in translation. Atlas and Axis #1 is out this week from Powell. I don't know how you say his name. It's P-A-U. This book was a treat. This was really, really cool. A story of these 2 dogs in this wild adventure. It's great. Like, I don't even know really. It's humorous, but it's serious too. It's something really, really special. I really like the artwork in it. I think the story's pretty fun. There's some stuff that seems a little kooky. Maybe that's just in the translation. Of course, it's also just partly a kooky book, but it's cute, it's fun, but it's also serious and deadly. So this is not a kid book. This is kind of like, if you liked Bone and you like Usagi Yojimbo, you should definitely read this book. This book was a treat. Sleeper hit of the week. I really was impressed with this book. Atlas and Axis, #1. Out this week. If you can find it, give it a shot. If you like that type of stuff. It's cartoony. It's caricaturist. They're animals. They're talking animals, but it's deadly. It's bloody. It's got serious consequences. It's got real meat to the story. Like I said, it's like Bone and Usagi kind of combined into one thing, into one French thing, I guess. So, I don't know. I really was impressed with that. Royal City, #9 is here. This book just blows me away. Every single issue, it's sentimental, it's deep, it's resonant, it's touching, it's glorious. You add in that beautiful artwork from Jeff Lemire, and look at that cover. Oh my, he's just been killing it with this, seriously. So Royal City is a great story about a family so haunted about the death of the youngest child in that family. Now we're going back and learning more about this child, whose name is Tommy, learning about his life, who he was, and what he thought of his family, who are the characters in this book, including him. Great stuff. Haunting. This book is haunting. And this book is great. It is so good. And one of the coolest things that Jeff Lemire does in this book is at the end of each issue, he gives you a mixtape. So you can find the music, listen to it, and it goes along thematically with the issue. Royal City was amazing. It made my top 10 list of 2017. Read Royal City. That book is amazing. The first trade is out. I'll throw a link down below if you want to pick it up. Help support PCP, or just go to your local comic book shop. Get it there. Seriously, support comic books, support the creators, because they're awesome. I cannot thank the universe enough for comic books and those who make them. Seriously. Port of Earth, #3, is out this week. This book has been great. I don't usually dig too much on Top Cow stuff. Top Cow's usually just been stuff like, Witchblade, The Darkness, stuff like that. Port of Earth is great. It's really, really fun. Earth has become a port for all these different alien civilizations because they come to Earth to refuel their ships because they have water technology, water electric technology, so they can turn water into energy. They give Earth access to that technology, and therefore Earth is now the port for the rest of the galaxy. This is great, cool concept, great sci-fi stuff, action-y, really cool gritty artwork that really captures the tone and the feel. But this book, in particular, this issue, really goes into the socio-economic ramifications of the deal that the governments of the world have made with these alien civilizations. And I really am impressed with this book, and it goes so much further than just a sleek, fun action sci-fi thing. It's getting kind of deep on me, and I really, really like it. Port of Earth has been amazing. Zach Kaplan is the writer. Andrea Muti is the artist. Vladimir Popov is the colorist. Amazing work, guys. Seriously, Port of Earth, read it. That book is great. From Image Comics, we got the second issue of Sleepless from writer Sarah Vaughn and artist Leila Del Duce. Amazing stuff. Love the artwork. Really cool. Love the story. Sarah Vaughn does an amazing job with this. I loved issue 1, even though it didn't really. So there's like political intrigue. This woman was the was the king's daughter from another woman from another country. The king is dead. Now there's a new king, and she's kind of stuck in between these worlds right now. It's very scary for her. She's got this dude who was one of the Sleepless. At first I thought he was like a vampire, some kind of undead thing, and now I'm just like, are these just dudes that don't sleep? I don't know, but it's engaging, it's cool, beautiful, awesome artwork, gorgeous colors. Look at those colors. Amazing stuff. Really like this book. If you like fantasy, it's not really fantasy, but if you like that kind of like royal court, political intrigue, damsel, danger, Sleepless, I don't know exactly how to describe this book, but it's good. That's what I'll say. I like it a lot. Monstro Mechanica #2 is here from Aftershock Comics. Aftershock's been doing some really good work. Seriously, I slept on this company for so long. They are doing some great work. This is a great book right here. Paul Allure is the writer. Chris Evanewis is the artist. Love the art. First of all, the art is great. It's super clean, crisp, efficient. Every line is purposeful. Nothing's wasted. Great sense of panel composition and pacing. Everything is great about this book. The coloring, the writing, it's awesome. Leonardo da Vinci is like a weapons designer working for the highest bidder. Think of a Tony Stark type character. He's got an apprentice. She's always getting into trouble. He's got this wooden iron-geared monster that he's made to be her bodyguard, and it's just great stuff. This book is so fun. Read it. Monstro Mechanica. I think if you're a steampunk fan, I guess you'll like it. I don't know. It's not really steampunky, but it kind of has that vein to it. But if you like historical fiction and alternate takes on historical figures, just such as Leonardo da Vinci, and if you just like good comics and a good story and great action, good characterization, you should read that book because it's really, really good. Sword of Ages #2 is here from IDW and Gabriel Rodriguez, who was the artist on Lock and Key with writer Joe Hill. Now he's doing his own book, Sword of Ages. Very intriguing, gorgeous artwork in this book. Highly detailed, textured, really, really nifty stuff artistically in here. Neat ideas as well. It's basically the Excalibur legend, but a fantasy sci-fi version of it. And it's really cool in concept. The first issue blew me away. The second issue I felt script-wise was a little clunky. Just a little clunky. I felt like the script and the narration didn't flow freely enough, and it kind of hindered the pace of the book. But artistically, it's still just a gorgeous, gorgeous book, intriguing characters, and a really nifty ending that actually had me wanting to come back for more. #1 blew me away. 2 was a little weaker, but I'm kind of pumped to see what happens in that book. Absolutely. Also from Valiant, so we talked about the Valiant Universe thing earlier, Bloodshot Salvation #5, the end of the first arc of Bloodshot Salvation Book 1. Jeff Lemire's writing this one from Royal City. Now he's doing this. This book is awesome. It's really fun. There's this whole thing before it, Bloodshot Reborn. I got those books on the way so I can read them because this book has sold me. I've loved it. I read Bloodshot when they first relaunched Valiant. I didn't really like it so much, so I stopped reading it. But I really should have picked it back up when Jeff Lemire came on because this stuff has been great. Really fun. Great artwork. Really neat story. Really cool concepts and ideas. Look at that artwork there. Look at the coloring. Dynamic, action-oriented, but it's also got a lot of human emotion in it, and I really like that. This book is something really cool. And Ninjak's in it. I'm not liking the Ninjak book right now, but I've always liked the character of Ninjak ever since I was younger, and I bought that Ninjak #1 with the foil chromium cover. You know what I'm talking about. It's good stuff. Let's talk about this. Good stuff. Boom Studios brings us Judas #2 out this week from writer Jeff Loveness and artist Jacob Rebelka. Amazing stuff. I loved issue 1. It blew me away. Issue 2 keeps it up. This is the story of Judas Iscariot, not Judas Priest. Judas Iscariot, traitor, betrayer of Christ. His adventure, why he did what he did, his reasoning, his explanations, his motivations. Now he's in hell, and he meets Lucifer in here, and Lucifer has a story to tell him, and it's great, with a great ending. It all ties into Scripture, and they use bits of Scripture to to illuminate the themes of the book. I really like this book. Anybody who's ever questioned their faith, anybody who has ever just wondered why would this happen? Why would God allow bad things to happen? Is God real? Is God really good? Is this Christ guy real? Is it legit? Anybody who's ever questioned their faith, whether you're a Christian or anything else, this book is for you. It's brilliant, and it's got amazing artwork. It's so good. It feels like you're reading something classical. And there are other villains of the Bible that are in here, and I don't want to spoil anything. This book is amazing. Dark, moody, atmospheric, resonant, haunting. How about that for some adjectives? That book is amazing. Read Judas. Seriously, read Judas so much. And I want to talk about this book right quick. Fourth Life, #2 from Dance Panda Comics, and my friend L.W. Allen, who just happened to celebrate a birthday this week. So, roll tide. There you go. That's all you're going to get from me. But happy birthday, Lance. I want to talk about your book real quick. I read it. I really dug it. I haven't read issue 1 in a long time, so I don't really remember what happened in issue 1, but you wasted no time jumping right into the story with issue 2, and I did not fall behind. I fell right in line with the script. I like the story. I like it a lot. I see where you're going with it. I think it's good. I'm really intrigued. Artistically, he's got 2 artists on here. He's got Jesse Switters and Paul Spencer. Paul Spencer did the first issue. Switters is new here on this issue. Wasn't on the first issue. He did the first 9 pages, and then Spencer did the rest of it. I do like the art. When I first looked at Switters' artwork, I wasn't sold on it. Excuse me. But as I was reading, I'm really impressed with what this cat's doing with the faces. There's, like, look at that right there. That is really good stuff. And plus, Lance, your coloring is getting amazing. Absolutely. Love the lettering, too. Spencer's stuff is really good, too. That right there, in particular, a fantastic panel. Great job inking. I am really impressed with this book, Fourth Life. It's going to be a 4-issue series. Lance has done some other stuff, Black Spec, Imadre. I'm going to throw a link down below to his website, to his Gumroad, to his Comixology, to whatever I can to help you guys realize that this is an up-and-coming talent in the industry, and he just celebrated his birthday, so what better way to say happy birthday than to go buy a comic book from Lance Allen. Also, Black Spec, I had something to do with that as well. So if you're a fan of me, I highly recommend you pick that one up because it's got me all over it. Absolutely. Seriously, Lance, you're doing a great job. Look out for Dance Panda Comics, doing great stuff for the future. Madre is a great book going on right now with Claudio Munoz. And Fourth Life is very intriguing, and he's got a new one coming out. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention it, but it's something about bird people, and it's going to be awesome. I'm super pumped for that. So that's what I read this week. That's what I thought about it. I want to know what you read and what you thought about it in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Your support just overwhelms me. I really do. Thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys for checking out the video. Keep on reading. Like, share, subscribe. Check us out at popculturephilosophers.com. Don't forget about our podcast. We got a new podcast coming out next week, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Also, if you want to hear us talk about movies, we do that every single Monday here on this channel on a show called Movie Monday. We are starting with Iron Man, and we're moving up all the way through the MCU until Infinity War. The Iron Man and Incredible Hulk videos are out right now. Next Monday will be Iron Man 2. So once again, thank you guys so much. Thanks for rocking with us, and keep on reading.